What's going on, good people? It's good to see you all again in partnership with WYTV7, Christian Broadcasters Network. This is When Men Open Up, a show where we are redefining manhood through transparency. And this is an excellent video for anyone who's just lacking that support. You may be someone who's working on a big project and you just need some help. You may be someone who's just trying to learn how to, develop meaningful relationships. I really do believe if you fall in that category, this is going to really be something impactful for them.
Yeah, and I also think, to caveat to what you just said, I think that this show is going to actually help you be graceful towards those who may not be helping, even when you feel like they're supposed to be helping.
Exactly. But let's introduce ourselves. My name is Dominique.
And I am Dexter Peggins Jr.
And once again, this is When Men Open Up. And we have, what to do when you are lacking support. That is the topic. And this is an excellent topic because this is something that I hear people complain about a lot. It's that lack of support. It's that questioning on why people are just not helping me and so forth. And then it's that question of, what do I do? I'm stuck. I don't have these resources. I don't have the help. The people that I thought was going to be helping me and I wanted to help me, they not helping me. You know what I'm saying? So, Dex, what do I do if I'm in that situation?
Well, definitely it's not a comfortable situation to be in, but I think once you kind of understand some keys we're going to share today, it will be a very enlightening position to be in, and I think it'll actually push you to pursuing your purpose. One of the first things I would say concerning this is that first, you have to be clear on what you're trying to get accomplished.
Right.
I am a person who has had many pet projects in the past and would get everybody excited and then midway through the process be like, nah, I don't really like this. And the truth of the matter is if you do that enough, people will be kind of apprehensive about supporting you
very quickly
in future endeavors. And so I think you have to distinguish between a good idea and what I like to call a God idea. The thing about the good idea is, it makes sense, but the reality is that it might not be for you. The God idea is the thing that's always with you, the thing you can't shake, and the thing you feel compelled to do. From there, you want to draw and create a plan. And then from there, you want to start implementing the steps to realize that plan. Oftentimes, I think, Dominique, that we don't pursue the plan because we're wanting the people to already be in position to help us. I'm a firm believer that once you start the process, the people that are for you will start to be drawn to you.
I agree with that. And that really brings me to a few stories, but one of the things, with me being very involved in the community, when people want to, facilitate or implement a project or some type of idea for the community, I'm somebody they reach out to, which it feels good that they consider me. But one of the things that I see that what's a big habit is people have a vision or they're very passionate about something. And like you said, you may be passionate about something, but you have to really understand that that's something that you need to be addressing. And that goes back to, that God's vision, that God's plan that you was referring to. But I really do believe that one of the biggest things people were doing is they got so excited.
Yeah.
And I call it that parachute effect. And I think I explained this during another video. You can be so excited about, going skydiving. You get what I'm saying? You jump out of the plane, then you realize I ain't even put my parachute on because you were so excited.
Yeah.
And it causes you to skip those steps. So what I realized is the idea wasn't so bad. It's just they didn't have the strategy and the plan. So the timing was off.
Yeah.
And since the timing was off, they didn't have a clear vision for everyone. And when you don't have a clear vision for everyone, it makes it hard for people to see, okay, where do I really, play in this?
Exactly.
What kind of role can I really have in this? And one of the things that people had is they had a very broad vision. It wasn't specific enough. So they brought all these people in, and then they was trying to do some of the planning inside that meeting that they were supposed to do at home.
Yeah.
So who are we going to target? Are we going to target the kids?
Yeah.
Are we going to target this? Are we going to target this? Everybody got their own ideas and own agendas and everything, and it causes a whole bunch of conflict, and then you don't hear about a second meeting. You get what I'm saying? So I really do believe, and I think it's very important to really have a clear vision on what you want to do. And I think when you really have that clear vision, it's going to really help. I think another thing is really understand identifying what the vision is, but then identifying why do you need this type of support. You know what I'm saying? And where does this support really rely into? Because that really helps with communication. Communication is very, very important. It ain't about just asking for help. I learned that a lot of people need to be directed.
Yeah.
A lot of people just need to say, they just need to be told what to do. And they have no problem with that. Some people just don't know what they bring to the table. And as a leader, we just have to be, I think with support, it takes a lot of leadership skills as well. I think the people who have the most support have great leadership skills. They just know how to communicate. They know what they need. They know how it needs to be done. They know how to take time out and just say, okay, this is how I want it to be done, instead of just telling you this is what I want done and then just go out and just do it. And that plays a tremendous role in what you're trying to accomplish.
I love that. Even when you were saying that, and as we were preparing for this show, I was thinking about Jesus Christ. He is the example. And when you look at Jesus Christ, I don't think we do enough study of the actual people he recruited, as his disciples.
Yeah.
Jesus was very strategic in the team that he had.
Very.
If you look at the occupations of several of them, he had business owners.
Yes.
He had a banker.
A variety of different people.
And so what you had people who were equipped with a skill set that could support what he was building. And so, like you said, we get the people together and then we're trying to determine, okay, what are you going to do? These are some of the things we need to already have visualized a vision for when we start to reach out and make these contacts. Because as you alluded to, is that you end up losing valuable time. And then the people who very well may be able to support, they become disinterested because it looks disorganized when you're trying to pull everything together. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, it's so important to really hit it well the first time, because it's going to be another time you're going to need some help.
Yeah.
So now when you get it wrong the first time very badly, because we're human, I mean, there's going to be some people that's going to be understanding. But when you get it wrong the first time, and then now you try and bring everybody again the second time, it's like, nah, bro, like you last time you brought us all together, you wasn't organized.
Yeah.
So it's very important to get together. But this is another thing that really crossed my mind the other day. The next point is not to be so desperate for support. Yeah. I think, we can be in these times where we just need the support and the help and the resources, and we have the desire for it is so bad, and there's nothing wrong with having a desire for it and the need for it, but we have the desire for it so bad that we end up being a little desperate.
Yeah.
And we're thinking that, our friends are not supporting us, our family are not supporting us, the people around me who said they was going to do this for me, they didn't do it. So now when we become desperate, we become more vulnerable for anyone else just to come in. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's very, very important, because when it comes down to support, all support ain't good support. And we have to understand why someone is coming in to support us.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they really coming in to support me, or are they really trying to support what I have? You know what I'm saying? So they can get some of it, or all of it, or whatever the case may be, and benefit from it. Because those type of people, when things start to go downhill for you, they gone.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's very important, because when that person comes in and giving you something that you've been desiring for so long, it's like, you know what? This person don't know me.
Yeah.
My friends ain't supporting me. My family ain't supporting me. But this person who don't even know me is willing to support me. You know what? I'm going to allow them in. But we have to always, when we become very desperate, our standards begin to bend.
Yeah.
And our standards cannot bend. And our discernment becomes a little clouded as well. You get what I'm saying? Because of what we're just focusing on. And we have to always be in line with our purpose. We have to always be in line with what God wants for us. Yeah. And we have to always be in line with the standards that we have set, because we cannot afford to allow the wrong people to come into what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I love how you said you mentioned discernment, because that's very important. I think when you operate maybe in the spirit of rejection, when you're feeling like, well, all of these people who should have been working with me aren't, and now this person out of nowhere is helping me out, what ends up happening is that you become so connected and so dependent upon that person that if you're not careful, you lose sight of why you originally got started. Mm-hmm. And that needs to be your focus. Once again, I'm thinking about when Jesus Christ, when the multitude left him, and then he looked at the 12 and said, well, will y'all leave me also? I don't think that was a question concerning, well, if you leave me, this will determine if I stop my mission. Right. It was a question to ask them where they stood in relation to what he had going on.
Their commitment.
Exactly. At the end of the day, your commitment to this work should not determine my ability to fulfill or pursue this assignment. Right. Because I started this assignment acknowledging that it was a burden and a responsibility that I was supposed to carry. And so you want to be in the discernment, you want to make sure that you're managing relationships correctly. At the end of the day, you should always be able to point that person back to the reason why they got connected to you to begin with. You're connecting with the mission, not so much me. And if the mission is important, I should be able to always point you back to that. One of the things I wanted to share, and I mentioned it earlier, was about grace towards the people who you feel like should be with you that aren't with you. Yeah. At the end of the day, we have to get to the point where we just are able to allow people to fulfill whatever that relationship is.
Whatever it is.
If it's brother, if it's mother, if it's wife, if it's friend or whatever, let them be that. Just because they're in your life and they're fulfilling those roles don't mean that they're equipped to help you in the work that you're called to.
That's good.
I think about it, Jesus Christ, his own brothers did not work with him. Mm-hmm. Judas, who was that was raised from the dead? If you think about it, Lazarus was one of his best friends, but you don't see Lazarus following him in his mission. Now, he supported from afar, right, but he wasn't there in the day-to-day. Mm-hmm. And so we don't see Jesus Christ getting hung up on the fact that these people weren't with him day-to-day. He was always pursuing the mission. And then the people who were connected with the mission, of course, they had the exposure to see different facets of this man and the work. And what he was doing was he was setting them up to continue the work once he got out the picture. And so that's the thing about understanding the work in relationships. My wife, my mother, my friends, I will love them in the context of that relationship, but their willingness to help me in my assignment does not take away from the importance of my assignment. Right. And at the end of the day, I'm responsible for this. I have to give an account.
That usually when we talk about that, it's always from a negative perspective. Mm-hmm. But we don't use it from a positive perspective too often either. But so with that being said, when you're lacking that support, you got to ask yourself, how often are you supporting other people?
That's good.
You get
what
I'm saying? Too, and it's that's how we build relationships too. I mean, when it comes down to support, we have to focus more so on relationship building, because when we just focus on support, we're just focusing on what people can really do for me. Yeah. And I think it's very, very important before we do anything is going in, because we're really hitting on a lot of the mindset. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And if we don't attack things with the right mindset, we're gonna have the wrong behavior, and we can really mess things up, because we want meaningful relationships. Mm-hmm. We want to really build partnerships. And if we don't focus on meaningful relationships, the relationships that we're going to have is going to be short term. Mm-hmm. Now, some relationships are meant to be short term, but not all of them. And we don't want to mess those up. So really ask yourself, how often am I going out and I'm helping the other people? And there's so many different ways to help other people. I mean, it may be monetary donations. It may just be calling up people and just giving them some support. That goes a long way, because a lot of us sometimes we just need that support.
Yeah.
And no one's really calling on us. You know what I'm saying? It can just be just going out and just volunteering at an organization. Just helping out somebody's event. We always somebody always got an event. And sometimes some people just want us just to be present.
Yeah.
Our presence is so underrated. You get what I'm saying? And we just think the way we gotta support people is always gotta look a certain way, and we always putting ourselves into it, and we're not putting other people into it as well. So when we really just think about the other person, then we can really support people the way they want to be supported, because at the end of the day, we want to be supported a certain way.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So really think about, how often am I really supporting people? I would really just set a goal. Find somebody to encourage every week. Find an event to really go out to and help out. If you want to mentor, find a few schools or a few youth organizations to help out. Whatever the case may be, really just be hands on deck and really help out.
I love that. I don't think I could say it any better, but I just want to at least add this part. And like you said, sometimes we want to just be the ones like, support my stuff. Yeah. But like you said, we're building relationships, and if people within your circle, or there's other people who are doing similar things, what harm is it in supporting this? You know what I'm saying? What harm is it in supporting the cause?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we're talking about end result. Is the end result even similar to something that you're trying to do on your own? Because in the process of you helping, you might learn something that's going to help you in whatever thing that you feel called to do.
Yeah.
In the process of helping, you might say, aha, I'm actually supposed to be connected with this person beyond just this momentary, event. This might be the catalyst to the next phase, where, initially you can see it in your vision. You can only see this far.
Right.
But in helping this person, it unlocked the next dimension for the purpose that you're supposed to be pursuing.
Right. And it's another thing, some people, we just lack that trust. I mean, So my question is to you, if somebody's lacking that trust, how do you develop that trust in someone? Because it's not always, even though you need that support, it's not always easy to really bring allow that person to come in and really provide that.
Well, my belief is consistency over time opens the door for greater levels of trust. Start where you are. Say, hey, look, this is the thing. Are you able to do this? And if they agree, then examine that. And then over time, you start to see their diligence. You start to see their work ethic and stuff like that, and you develop trust in that area. I would say if you're the type that's hard to let go of things, you're going to have to do some inside work and examine and ask yourself, okay, why do I have these trust issues? Because it actually may not have anything to do with that person. It may just be something you're dealing with. You want to be careful, because your mind will condition itself to find the fault in the person. And the moment they trigger it, you say, oh, see, I knew that was going to happen.
Right.
And so you want to be careful as far as that. But consistency over time, I believe, is one of the best ways to garner trust in a relationship.
Yeah, and during that time, I think it's very important to really trust our discernment.
Yeah.
It's too many times, I know everybody who's listening has had one incident where something told you to pull away, something told you to push, something told you to stop, go, whatever the case may be, and we didn't listen to it, and then later on we regretted it. And we always say it's that voice, it's that vibe, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's discernment. We all have that gift, and I don't think it was given to us for a reason. We have to use it. It was given to us so we can avoid the wrong people, but not just avoid the wrong people, but really partner with the right people, because with our vision, it's not always meant for us to do it by ourselves. And I'm a firm believer of that. So really to trust your discernment and really just understand what are people's intentions. We just analyze things from a surface standpoint, and we don't dive deeper. So they're really giving you that support. But why are they doing that? What are they really trying to gain from that? Are they really just trying to be genuine and really help you out and just really support what you have going on? Are they really just trying to, wear your jersey because you win it? Whatever the case may be. But you have to really understand that. Always understand people's intentions and their motives, and I really believe that's going to really help guide you in the right direction.
Oh, yeah. And I'll say this in closing, that trust and believe me when I tell you this, that when you step out, God already has the people lined up to help you in the assignment. Oftentimes, as I said earlier, we don't start because we don't see the people. Mm-hmm. Start the work. When you start the work, there'll be people who will start to connect with you. They'll like what you're doing, and then they'll say, hey, well, I can offer this support to you. Now, hey, let's be honest. Sometimes when you're small, the support isn't always the greatest,
right?
But you're learning the process, and what will happen is as you continue to work it out, maybe more skilled people will come, or maybe the people who are already with you will develop more skills in that area, and then you'll see the vision starting to become a reality in your own life. We talk about this all the time. Give yourself credit for the small victories. The end vision is a ways away.
It's a ways away.
But celebrate the fact that, hey, this day we stepped out and we accomplished this. This day, hey, we experienced a temporary setback, but we learned something.
Yeah.
We know not to do that next time around, or we know to do it better. And I promise you that as you do it, that in God's design, the people will start to connect with you.
I love it. I really appreciate everyone for tuning in to When Men Open Up, where we are redefining manhood through transparency. And we want you all to support. If you want us to go global, you can use this, go to wytv7.org and make a monetary contribution. But we really appreciate you all supporting us while we're talking about support, because we cannot be great without you all. And we appreciate everyone for tuning in and even giving us some great feedback. We really appreciate it. But we want you all to join us again when we will be back. My name is Dominique.
Now, Dexter Peggins Jr.
And we are out. Thank you so much.